On this week's episode of Muscle Cars and Hot Rods, we're going to show you a little bit of undercoating and POR-15 use on a 1957 four-door Chevy Business coupe, and we'll show you the 67 Chevy pickup that we got in the shop. So stick around and check it out.
Nice Calvary should I got herself get money Missouri in the last no. No. Here they can money option if for banana. Here I come that I see that's a desert.
And here we are on that 57 Chevy project. And what I'm showing you right here is that we've gone through and hit the main chassis with POR-15's chassis black. And right now, Elvado is masking off the frame, and we're going to shoot some Dominion Surseal rubberized undercoating on the floor pans of the car. I'll give you a couple pictures of it when we're all done. Okay, and here we are back up under that 57 after Elvado is gone and sprayed the undercoating. You can see with the undercoating, we don't spray some huge, really thick stuff. We just want to go ahead and seal it up. Protection's the #1 priority, but we don't want to gum it up so bad that if you have to ever come back and do any work, that it's just an absolute nightmare. So yeah, bottom of the car's been all shot up. You can see how the colors go real good together, and it's ready. Okay, and this here's our 1967 Chevy pickup truck hot rod project that we're working on. Carlos from across the street just got done doing a lowering kit, brake conversion, new axles, sway bar, discs up in the front. We still need to buy some wheels and tires for the thing. So there's the power brake conversion. He did the distributor plugs and wires just to get this thing running real good, and then we put a big stall converter in it. So it's come to us because it's been kind of a do-it-yourself project that someone did at home, and they did a bunch of customization to the truck, and it's cracking out. Like you can see where the gas tank here used to be, and then throughout the truck there's like holes where the welds to the trim used to be, as well as various things on the hood. So some customization needs to be fixed. And then it was painted with Emron single stage, and it, you know, was done by a do-it-yourselfer, and it just doesn't have shine or good appearance to it, so we're going to give it a complete paint. Back here on the bed, you know, we've already started our blocking, because basically the thing was a wavy and dented up mess, and we're going to try and block it out. Here's a little bit of some of the customization woes that we're seeing on this project. So this truck came with molding that came down and around the wheels, and these right here, I don't know if you can see it, are studs that held the clips on to hold the molding on. Well, they just bondoed over that, and of course that broke out. So we're going to go through, we're going to weld up all the holes, and then we're going to fix this so it's not just packed full of Bondo. Here's another little customization that they did. They got rid of all the side markers to the vehicle and shaved them clean. And so what they did was, this was a recess for a side marker, and they just cut a piece of steel to fit in there, and they only welded it on the quarters, and then they went ahead and filled it with Bondo to clean it up. And what happens is the two pieces of metal will heat up differently and move and crack through the vibrations of use, and it ended up ruining the effect. So I got to go ahead and dig this out and weld it in there properly. Now on the 67 Chevy pickup truck, we've gone ahead and we've already dug out our tail lights. I've got Elvado over there making a couple new pieces of steel, and it turns out that these are the holes that hold the clips to the molding. Looks like they were welded up. So I'm thinking what they did was had cold welds, because this weld just popped right out of the steel. And then also I noticed a lot of pits and pores in the metal. So whenever you weld on a car, if you leave it porous and you don't seal up the back side, water will go through the pinholes, and it'll rot out and rust out the repair, and therefore it'll have a flaw like it did. So we're going to go through, we're going to look at all the welds, make sure they're sticking good, and repair those. Now over here, what you see is the hood to the 67, and this is a good mark aftermarket hood. So it looks like, if you can see under here, they've gone through and reinforced it with some structure. And that was good in that it strengthened it, but they bonded it with rivets. And we all know that rivets won't hold. And so if you look closely here at the repair, they've cracked. So what I'm going through and doing is I'm going to drill out all those rivets and weld the structure in and see how that works. If it ends up looking like it's going to warp it out too much, we'll just get a new aftermarket hood. So as I began welding on the hood, I realized that that wasn't going to work because you can't bond the exterior panel of a vehicle to a structure, because as the heat warms the panel up, the metal's going to want to move, and it's not going to move where it's bonded. So we went ahead and decided that that wasn't going to be it, and I'm going to pick up another hood for the project. I mean, it was an aftermarket hood to begin with that someone tried to fix, and then we tried to fix their fix, and at this point, just get another hood and put it on there. So right now I'm going to show you what's been happening on my 72 Dart. Check it out. Okay, and here is the short block 360 to my Dart. Totally torn down. I think once I get it off the stand, I'll go ahead and remove a couple various plugs that are still in it and this flex plate. And at this point, it's a complete short block. I'm going to drop it off down to Mike Chris's machine shop, have him final disassemble it, and clean it up and inspect it. Hopefully we're going to get away with new bearings, new rings, and just a light honing. And then I'm now focusing on the interior a little bit. A couple projects I've been meaning to get on. And number one is the seat. The bench seat I removed. I took out the carpeting, and right now I'm fitting these new aftermarket bucket seats in. And everything's looking good. I got a little bit of brace work to do to mount it to the floor. And the shifter's going to come back about 12 inches or so and be right there. Man, what a change going from bench to bucket. It's going to be nice. And then also over here on my gauges. Now on the gauges, I just had these set in the car and I never finished putting them together. But what's happening here is I'm cleaning up the gauge cluster. I've got a sheet of Lexan that's going to go in there and cover it, and then the outer bezel is ready to go together. And then I'll bolt all that together and set them in. You can see the nice wiring job that a friend of mine, Eric, had done. It came out pretty good. And then in order to fit it in the car, I really hate to do this, but I have no choice at this point. The structure right here that holds up the steering column, you can see right here, I've got it marked. I'm going to have to go ahead and cut that and then weld it in so that I can get proper clearance on the back of my tachometer gauge. Kind of lame. I didn't lay out my gauges correctly enough on the pod, but I'm gonna make it strong and make it a good repair. Yeah, so on that 57 Business coupe, we went ahead and I prepped, seam sealed, and shot the firewall atomic orange. That's going to be the color of the car. And now it's ready to go off to Jerry Shells at Motorsports Limited to get the new crate motor and transmission put in it, make it a roller. And then we'll probably see the car back for exterior paint job, including jams, once he's done. Then there's a lot of cool stuff going to happen with that 68 pickup truck. I've been calling it a 67. It's actually a 68 Chevy pickup, including we're going to dismantle the bed and put a wooden floor kit in it. That should be pretty cool, so stick around and check those out. And then, yeah, more of the same on all the other projects. Thanks for tuning in to this week's episode. Catch you next time.
Nice Calvary should I heard talking money Missouri in the last no. No. Here they can money option if for banana. Here I can see that's a